Hey, what's up, everyone? Can you guys hear me loud and clear? I'm not using my headphones tonight. So I just shaved my head, so I don't want to put any substance around my head. But I definitely want to make sure. Can you guys hear me loud and clear? Just raise your hand. All right, cool. All right, man. Well, hey, guys. I'm starting a new series, a new spotlight series, where I want to put black men, successful black man, on the map because as of right now, as you guys see all over social media, all over the public media, black men we always seem to get a bad rep, and I think we need to start changing that narrative and really highlight a lot of these successful men who are actually doing big things domestically and overseas. And today I have a great pleasure to actually I watched this guy actually grow within the past couple of years, and I actually participated on this podcast about a year ago. I think this happened during the pandemic, and this is before the Passport Bro movement started. This is before like this black man, why black men are traveling. I actually participated on his podcast, and now this gentleman is actually doing it big, like overseas, domestic wise. Started a highly successful coaching program within the cloud space, but also too he has a book. I didn't know he written a book about facing your fear. So I was like, man, this dude is a book of all trades. So you know what? I would love to have him as my first guest. And again, guys, I really want to help tell our own story. We need to hear more guys like this gentleman to really show the world, like, hey, black men are not just this negative thing that you try to portray us to be. We're very successful fathers, husbands, businessmen, travelers, and so forth. So with that being said, I'm proudly and blessed to actually highlight this gentleman, Demecos. I'm at you on right now. Hey, what's up, man? How you doing?
Hey, what's going on, brother? How you feeling?
I'm doing good, man. Thank you for taking the time. Man. I know you was kind of had a busy day, but thank you for at least blessing us with 1 hour of your time to actually talk about the cloud space. But also, I want to highlight you as a person. And I had the gracious pleasure to watch you grow for the past couple of years. I remember when you decided when you put that post on social media, like, hey, I'm going for my cloud certification. I remember that. And now you're running a successful cloud training program. Yeah. So with that being said, I'm going to pass the mic over to you. Give us a highlight who you are. Start from your humble beginnings. You love to talk about where you came from to where you are and where you're heading. So with that being said, Demecos Chambers, B Cloud Engineer, and also we're going to highlight the your cloud training certification program. So a lot of guys do have interest in learning more about the cloud space, and I want to give you the platform to talk about it. So go ahead, you got the floor.
My pleasure. Yeah, my name is Demecos Chambers, guys. I am a cloud solutions architect currently within the for a medical technology company. And I started off, I have a GED. It took a while to get here. I have about 4 years of cloud experience. Prior to that, I had no real technology training. Let me go all the way back to the beginning. I came up. I was born in Concord, North Carolina. Shout out to the 704, and I was reared here in Atlanta, the city, from all sides of town, from College Park to the east side of town, Boulevard, downtown, all the way to Roswell, Alpharetta. That was when I finished high school. Didn't finish high school, but you know what I mean. Got my GED from Gwinnett College, actually. And I started off. I didn't see myself ever becoming a tech guy. This wasn't the journey for me that I envisioned of myself as a kid. I always envisioned myself. I remember riding down because at the time my grandmother moved to Roswell, and we lived in Cleveland Avenue. Shout out to Metropolitan, used to be Stewart Avenue. For those old, old Atlanteans, you know what I'm saying? Old city. But anyway, I remember riding back toward Cleveland Avenue, going home, and man, I used to look at the moon every night. I was always an insightful kid, an inquisitive kid. I wasn't always the smartest, but I was always just inquisitive, and that inquisitiveness nature about myself has always led me through many paths of success. And I say that many paths because as a kid, I would look up at the moon and be like, man, I'm literally probably going to live until I'm 80, 100 years old. So my life is going to end at some point. But I used to always pass by those buildings in Sandy Springs and see those office buildings with the lights on and be like, man, one day I want to be a successful guy with a suit and a suitcase going to work every night, working 8 hours and coming home and has a healthy family. Because living on Cleveland Avenue, that was not my environment, at all. And so I was just always like, well, the question was, how can I get there? How can I? And it was never through athletics. And I was always the biggest kid, if not one of the biggest kids in my class.
And guys, he's big. I mean, I'm big, but he's bigger than me and taller.
Right.
Thank
Right,
God. Don't get them
right.
mad. That's all I got to say.
So I was like, but sports never came through my mind. Never was one of those kids that drove through the nice neighborhoods. Like, mom will buy you that house when I get an NFL deal or basketball deal, anything like that. I just was just always like, I got to figure it out. Long story short, I like all youth, I was troubled youth, coming from a broken parent household. It was just my mom. She used to get abused and beat on a lot. But she did her best, to take care of us. She always went on her way to take care of us. And she became like the matriarch for our family. All the family members would always lean on her for things, for help. And all my uncles were mostly gone. I had a drug addict uncle. I had an uncle that was doing 25 years to life in prison. I had another uncle who had died of HIV, of AIDS. Had HIV, then died of AIDS. And so there was no male protector around. So a lot of people leaned on my mom, and I wanted to alleviate those burdens early. And I learned this, how crazy this trickles down to different generations of boys, black boys, trying to take care of their mother and their sibling. And it causes you to, know, uh, wander into lifestyles that aren't conducive to a healthy adult lifestyle, such as myself. So I definitely wandered into the streets and stuff like that, and um, never got caught. Never got caught, but it just wasn't it was this one movie I watched that made me quit all that, because I was going to join a gang. I was going to go full fledged, because I was always one of those kids. Is like, I was like, if you're gonna beat somebody up, why just beat them up? Why not just go in their wallet and take all their money as well? Like, I was always go to the extreme type of guy, and I knew that type of thinking and that my temper. I knew it wasn't gonna be a bright future for me at all. I didn't remember our elementary school teacher telling us that, at in the fifth grade, that fourth grade, he said that none of y'all black boys in here are expected to make it to 21 without having been to jail and having a child. And then he said, no, he said 16 without, no, 18 without jail and a child. Then he said, also, y'all are supposed to be dead by, he said by 21, y'all aren't supposed to have not went to jail and not had a child. He said by 25, y'all are supposed to be dead. He said that's what society expects of black men, young black men. And that always stuck with me. His name was Principal Dana. And so long story short, I yeah, I figured out, like, I was watching this one movie. I forgot the name of it. It's called damn, it was a documentary that was on Netflix at what wasn't Netflix at the time, but some documentary. My uncle brought it in on a tape cassette. That's how old I am. VH1, a cassette tape. And it's called Gang Tapes. That was the name of his documentary about this black kids who stole these white folks' video camera and filmed their day in life in the hood, gang banging, and in LA. And he showed how treacherous it was on the gang banging side, how your own brothers would turn against you, especially over a girl. And I was like, damn, well, I definitely ain't joining this gang at school tomorrow. Because I was about to go into it. But and then I find and then the money from hustling wasn't matching. Like, it wasn't enough. Like, it was all hype. And so anyway, I was like, man, this ain't for me. So, but then at the same time, I realized that I ended up dropping out of school. And I told my mom, she let me drop out. I dropped out at 18. She let me drop out. I'll go get my GED. And so I dropped out. I remember every day for about a week or two, she would drop me off at Goodwill to go do they had GED classes, and they would have you do your GED. Now, I was one of those kids, I was always smart in school. I just hated doing schoolwork that I wasn't interested in. The only classes that I excelled in were history, and science, because those are the only two interesting hobby subjects. Everything else, math, I wasn't always the best math student, and everything else I just wasn't that interested in it. So I ended up taking the GED class. I got my GED, and then I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna try to do college. Tried college, that didn't pan out. That was it. It became it wasn't for me. But the day that changed it all for me was when point where I was working for a corporate. I got this corporate job. It's another interesting story. I got this corporate job, my first corporate job at I think I was 20, yeah, 20 years old, and I came in making $8 an hour. And I was always a hard worker, and I was always able to just be. I was always a hard worker, and I was always cool with people. Like I never went in. And I adopted that mentality of I don't want to intimidate people because of my size, but I always wanted to make people respect me by giving them respect. That's something I developed as a kid. If I gave you respect first, I would get mine in return. So anyway, that developed into a healthy social skill for me. So when I was 20, I got this $8 hour job, and I bust my ass on this job, man. And I hustled up. I stayed with this company for 4 years, and I made it up to like 25 dollars. I was probably making a little bit less than probably about 46, 45 a year, which was good money for a 23-year-old. You know what I'm saying? And I ended up actually buying my first house at 23. And I'm not on bad track, coming from where I come from and GED. So but it was this one day, this is when I knew this corporate role that I was on wasn't for me. By the way, I was a project coordinator for a company that built cell phone towers, a project management company. And so it was when my boss came in one day, and he said, "All right, we're gonna do your raises." I said, "Okay, cool." I was like, "Oh man, it's gonna be my first official raise." Like, the raises I had been getting to that point were just I had worked through a temp agency, so
Yeah.
it would come in gradually big steps. Again, coming from $8 all the way up to 20, 25, I was used to big jumps. So he said, "All right, we're gonna give you a raise." At this point, I was salaried. I was on company payroll or whatever. And he's like, "All right, so man, this man increased my salary by 10 cents."
Wow.
And he broke it down throughout the year of how beneficial it's going to be for me, comparing it to what others are making in the industry. And I'm at 23. I'm like, man, hold on. If I'm making 10 cents a year by the time I'm 30, I ain't making no, I ain't, I ain't gonna be that boss type dude, living the type of lifestyle I want at this rate. I gotta find something else. So went to a Tony Robbins concert, not concert, but a self-development seminar in Dallas. Changed my life. His seminar totally changed my life. It revolutionized my thinking. I went from being a good guy, cool guy, that was in corporate and that was pro black, super pro black. I was kind of tilted in that black militant segment a little bit heavy. But when I went to that Tony Robbins seminar, it just expanded my mind to be a global thinker. Um, to be proud of where I am, my culture, and where I'm from, but to not let my story end there. To understand that there's a bigger world game to play. Being in a conference with people from literally all around the world, and just learn so much. Anyway, that and walking across hot coal with my bare feet. It just changed my life, man. So that point, I said, okay, I'm gonna try entrepreneurship. Did that full time, flop. But I did so many great things along the way. I wasn't making the kind of money that I needed to sustain myself. But I was doing a lot of things people my age weren't doing. Like I had got created a post certified training program, which is peace officers training program for the state of Georgia. I think I was the youngest at that time to have the training program, and it was post certified. So I actually trained Fulton County's 911 staff. um, and I'm doing all this in my early 20s, and I was getting meetings with I met with literally every college in the state of Georgia. I mean, it was so many. I had got paid. The Georgia State University paid me to be a public speaker. I had did all these amazing things, coached my first $1 million client, all these great things. But I still wasn't making no money, like that. But I was doing these impeccable things, and it added to my social experience and professional experience how to maneuver in different rooms. And it taught me so much about respecting the infrastructure of life. It's great to have dreams. It's great to understand social causes, but you have to eventually make something tangibly grow. You have to add to the infrastructure value of a civilization, of a city. And so It was one day it all came. This is how I got into tech. It was one day I was doing an Uber drive. Now I think I hope that my girl trips over this, but I always say like I'm the first black Uber driver with a GED to get banned from both Uber and Lyft as a driver
Wait.
because they definitely both booted me off as a driver. My school ratings was too low and poor.
Let's take a step back.
Okay,
What,
yeah,
what caused you?
yeah. I don't live, man. I live,
What caused you to get booted from both apps?
man. What's funny is Mark was there. um, my first words to Mark when I got booted, when I found out I got booted from Lyft, because I got booted. Basically, man. It was a lot of, most of it was my fault. I will say about 80% of it was my fault because I'm sitting here texting and driving. I'm on YouTube and really on YouTube just driving, and I'm changing through the channels on YouTube and typing in stuff on you because I was always trying to learn and absorb things and be entertained, and it was stupid. It was most of it was my fault. And then the other percent was, Uber and Lyft back then they were very strict on drivers. They didn't really have a open lines of communications of disputing complaints customers may have, because I've had I've got a whole podcast worthy of customer trips that are crazy. But they just were very hard on drivers, man. So they'll give you a notice when your rating drops back then. When your rating dropped below 4.5, they would kick you off as a driver. You ain't getting to know 4.0, 4.1, 4.2, especially if it's reckless driving. Man, I remember one day, this is gonna trip you. I'll give you one great story. One day I picked this guy up from the airport. Now, I always drove on. I always had. I couldn't afford to keep buying to buy new tires. So I would keep buying used tires, which is like $25,
Yeah.
and I couldn't buy no whole tire. So every 3-4 months, because I drove my car so much, um, I had to keep buying new used tires. But one day I was getting towards the end of the road with this one tire. You could see the thread pulling and everything. I was like, nah, but I got about 2 more trips on it. And so I picked this guy up, man. I kid you freaking not. I picked this guy up, man. He started making comments about my tires. I was like, no, we're fine. I had to take him from the airport to Alpharetta. I was like, no, we're fine. We'll be all right. Man, come to find out, this dude is like a tire consultant. Yeah, like one of the biggest tire makers in the world. So he's telling me exactly what's going on with my tire. He could feel it and everything. I'm like, yo, this dude. I'm like, man, I'm trying to cool him off. So, man, we get about probably like 30 minutes. We like 15 minutes away from his house. My daggone tire went out on the side of the road. I said, God, it popped. Wow. And I noticed I don't hurt my tire don't bust so many times. I know exactly what it is. And I pulled over. He had to get another Uber driver and took him. And I had to get 4-1 to put my donut back on. And he definitely reported me. And so it was things like like that's how and it's dangerous. Like I said, 80% is my fault.
Yeah.
Right. But it was this one day before I got fired. I met this guy, man, Rad. Shout out to my bro, Rad. It's my best bro to this day. I picked Rad up in the morning. I hate talking in the mornings. Everybody who knows me know I'm not a morning guy. That's why I love the type of work I do now, because we don't have our first meetings until like 11 o'clock. So that's perfect for me. But anyway, I pick up Conrad in the morning. I don't like people talk. I try to not say anything in the morning outside of a greeting, and I try to turn the radio to a talk radio because I don't like a lot of music. Listen. If I don't like something, don't want something my way, I am one of those guys. Like, I like to have it my way, and I don't like too much adhering to too many rules and policies. I'm that guy. And so they get it. So I turn to talk radio, I turn up a little bit, and I'm like, all right, be quiet. I answer the questions, and I don't talk. I try not to encourage communication. This guy's persistent on talking, man. I'm like, oh my God. So he asked me what I'm trying to do, whatever. I say I'm in tech. I'm going to get my A+ certification. Then I'm going to get a job at General Electric. They're going to pay me $14 an hour as a help desk, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, this is going to shut him up. And then he was like, oh, okay. Have you ever thought about going into the cloud? I was like, the cloud? What are you talking about? What's the cloud? He said, being the cloud engineer for Amazon Web Services. I said, bro, the book company Amazon? What are you talking? They cloud? What are you talking about? And this is when Amazon was known for selling books and Kindles. Like, and so he told me they're making like solutions architects. They're making like 84,000 a year, and this is around like 2015, 2000, maybe 16, and so this is good money. And so I'm like, I was like, he's like, yeah, all you have to do is get your certification. I was like, word. How can I get the training? Whatever. He's like, yeah, just go online and find the training. Blah, blah, blah. So I go online. I find Linux Academy. This is before Linux Academy became Cloud Academy, and then before they got bought out by Cloud Guru. But the membership costed $32 a month. Now listen, I'm doing Uber. I don't got fired already from Lyft, and I'm like, I'm broke. I'm sleeping on my mom's couch, broke. Sometimes sleeping in the airport parking lot waiting on Uber rides, broke. Right. And he was like, I was like, yo, look, I hit Rad. I had his number. Excuse me, because he ended up being a cool dude, so we exchanged numbers. So I hit him. I said, yo, I see you needed an Uber ride. So how about I'll give you a ride for free this whole week. No, I said this whole month in exchange for your Linux Academy membership, because he told me he had one through his company. And he was like, all right, bet. Man, I don't know why I did that. And that's the lesson. You got to barter sometimes. When you ain't got it, you got to figure out how to get it. But man, this dude, he's just the one who made me a strip club advocate. I never, probably one time prior to that point. And at this time, I'm like 28, yeah, about 28, maybe 27. And so I probably stepped in the strip club one time. Man, he had me going to the strip club every night one week. And most week it was like 4 times a night. One week we went every night, man. And so we built a great relationship. And I studied, man. I studied. Now I failed the first solutions architect certification. And for context, like this is why so many OGs who have been in tech for even longer than I have, and why persons who are like around when cloud got started are kind of tough on newcomers or freshers trying to come in the industry wanting the easier way. When I got started specifically, there was no cloud training anywhere. Linux Academy had something, but it wasn't the best. In AWS themselves, what they offered, their training was so much trash, so bad at that point. It's a lot better now. Today is great, but back then it was so bad where if you tried to rewind a portion of the video to get the notes down that you were trying to write down, the video would stop. Like it was a little animation. The audio was always behind the animation, by the way. So you can scrap trying to watch the animation and listen. You just need to listen. But the automate, if you try to play it back, it would stop. And so you basically had to restart the whole video over just to get back to that same part. So that's how bad it was. But and then there was no support groups. There were no cloud engineers groups. I looked online everywhere. Nobody was around. There was one Indian group on Facebook that I found, but they were posting all these like spam products that they were trying to sell, related to the cloud and stuff. It wasn't no support, no help. So anyway, I failed my first cert. I paid for it. It was like nine at that time. It was like one. It was probably $100 or 150. So yeah, I said, dang man, I don't know, this might not work. And then I had picked up a job with working for the state for this private company who had a state contract looking for people to deploy desktop. So I said, all right, cool, I'm gonna do that. I ended up getting a job and came on it again as an entry level. I was only supposed to be there for a day, not for a day. I was only supposed to be there for a week or two, and I ended up turning that into a permanent role because again, I'm a hustler. I'm gonna outwork everybody. There's nobody there that's gonna outwork me. They might be smarter than me, they might be more likable than me, whatever, but they're not gonna outwork me. So I ended up getting that permanent job, but this wasn't no money. Like and I was still on contract. The permanent role, you were still contract. And so they can fire you at any day, and they were. So it wasn't a stable job at all. And plus, I was only making $14 an hour. But it was enough to get me out of my mom's house and move into this. I had got a roommate with 4 white boys. Woo-hoo! Boy, 4 white boys, and they had 3 cats. Oh my God, that was an experience. That was an experience, bro. Oh my God. But anyway, um, I was just like, man, I gotta make something shake, man. So I remember sitting on my and I remember sitting on my bed and thinking to myself, like, damn. I said, you know what? I said I'm gonna go all in on getting this cloud certification and go all in on getting my cloud engineering job. I said, I'm either going to get this cloud engineering job or I'm gonna die. That's how hard I'm gonna go. I'm either gonna die trying to become a cloud engineer. That's how I'm at my wits end that I was with everything. And so I focused, man. I still have the text messages to this day that I posted in my Black Cloud Engineers group, of where I'm telling my friends, like, no, I can't go out. Telling girls, no, I can't go out. Nope, can't do it. And I'm studying, I'm studying, I'm studying. And and my friends, thankfully, they understood I was just focused. And and man, I ended up getting now I failed this certification test, and I would think about it, I would go to work and tell all of the guys at work, like, yeah, man, y'all need to get on this cloud training with, get these certifications, man, so we can get out of here, man. We can make real good money, man. They got great, they got all these great opportunities, man. We just need to go. All you have to do is get these certs. You don't need a degree. And they shunned me. They didn't believe me. They laughed at me. I was like, all right, man. I failed. I failed my first solutions arc cert. Then I went and took my AWS cloud practitioner certification. I failed that twice. Again, all this is coming out of pocket. That costs $100 a pop. This money I can't really afford to lose. I paid $800 for a boot camp. I mean, I was throwing everything at the wall. Again, this year it was die trying. And I ended up passing my third time the AWS solutions, not the solutions, the AWS cloud practitioner certification. And then I went and I applied for this company online about a week later. And this is how much of a difference that certification, especially at that time, made. Because prior to, I had been interviewing with multiple companies, telling them that I'm a cloud engineer, that I'm studying for, blah, 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 but I never could make it past the first round. Never. A week later, after I applied for that, after I got my cert, I applied for that job. I got a call back within, I think, a day or two. I interviewed from Thursday to Friday. I had 6 interviews with the same one company. And I had one interview in the morning, one on my lunch break, all right, and then one in the evening when I got home. And then they let me know I had the job offer. They gave me a job offer by that. They called me and told me I got the job on Monday. And it took probably three days later for them to get the job offer together and send it to me in the email. And man, it was at that time, again, I'm making $14 an hour. They made an offer to me. They said, we're going to pay you $60,000 plus a 15% bonus, and plus all these full health benefits, all fully paid for. I was like, what? This is the most money I don't ever made in my entire life. I was like, I'm gone, man. They was like, the only condition is you got to come out to Durham, North Carolina to work for us. And I said, I don't care. I don't care if it was in Wisconsin. This was do or die for me. And I went out I packed all my stuff up, let my roommates know I was gone, kissed my mom and my sisters bye, and I hit the road, man. My Nissan Altima had like 317,000 miles on it before it died out on me. Like, I don't enjoy that car around the whole southeast of America. But yeah, I got there, man. It was graveyard shift. It was thugging it out, and man, that's where the journey of my cloud engineering career started.
You know what? That's amazing. It shows the amount of time and effort that you put into something that you had a vision for. Yeah. And guys, it's really like that. I'm hearing feedback. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you just fine.
Okay. Yeah. So, guys, it's just you strictly having a vision and sticking to it, no matter what. Now, Demecos, I want you, if you can you explain what is the different cloud certifications within your space? I know that You highlighted AWS. What other cloud certifications out there they're currently out there?
Yeah, so I always give this advice because there are, it can be, because there's so many, it can be stifling to those newcomers who want to make sure they're choosing the best one.
Yeah.
Also, my rule of thumb is this: if you want to work for a private company, it's best to go with AWS certifications. If you have any type of military background, a government background, or even healthcare background, I recommend that you go the route of Azure certifications, and that's because Azure, um, um, many companies utilize the Azure cloud platform um, within the government and healthcare space. Um, and if you want to go through, if you're kind of one of those freelance guys that kind of almost has an entrepreneurial or creative spirit or adventurous spirit, I say go for Google Cloud uh, certifications, um, because that it's still a smaller platform than AWS and Azure Cloud, but the upside is just as great because you'll become a specialty engineer, because not in many engineers are have that certification and experience with that cloud platform. But many companies, especially startup companies, especially companies that already use Google services like Gmail, GChat, etc. Google Meet for their products and services, is easier for them to transition over to Google Cloud, etc. Um, go with Google Cloud. Um, but yeah, I have tools on my website, like the quiz you can take, that can help you specify exactly what type of certifications you can go after. Because so if you go off my rule of thumb and pursue any of those clouds that are that you want to be in private sector or government sector or more of a venture spirit, always start off with the practitioner or the fundamental certification, just to get your hands wet with the process, just to have a proven concept to yourself, that you can do it. It has some value still when it comes to employees, but it'll get your foot in the door with then going after specialty certs, which is my next main point, which is you don't want to get, and I made this mistake. Everybody makes this mistake. They want to go and get that AWS Solutions Architect certification because it's the grandfather's cloud certification. It's the most marketed certification, but it's a senior level certification. You're not going to get a solutions architect role unless you've already been some type of architect or high level sales consultant for a company. They're not going to bring a junior in to be for a role that's fit for somebody that has at least 4 years of cloud industry experience, and if out of cloud, have at least 6 to 7 years of some type of project management senior level experience. So specialize, man. Find out, get a specialty certification like a network certification, network cloud network engineers, or cloud security engineers, or um, cloud database administrators. Specialize. Try to stay away from these generalized certifications, unless you have a tech background. But if you have zero tech background, specialize, because specialty, I call them specialty certifications, and the AWS does as well. They're hard. Those type of skilled engineers are hard to find, and they give you more upside, and you get in the door quicker, even if you have no experience. Um, which brings me to my next point, is that especially with today's market, getting these cloud certifications are great. They're great, and in some cases, they may just be enough, but in the general case, they're not going to only be enough. You have to do, I always rule of thumb is do at least 3 cloud projects relating to the certification that you got, or the type of cloud job role that you got. If you're going after a cloud networking engineer role and you have your AWS networking certification, then do 3 projects that demonstrate you having built a network, a cloud network, protecting a network, firewall, uh, vulnerability test, um, uh, VPC, peer-to-peer peering, networking, uh, various networking cloud projects. Do at least 3 that you want to have listed on your project. I mean, on your resume. 3 projects that you want to list on your resume, because they count towards your experience too. Now, I'm not talking about a lab that you do during the training of your certification. I'm talking about an actual project that you can easily Google online, or like Cloud Google has a lot, Pluralsight has a lot, uh, um, Udemy has a lot. Just just pick any project that requires you to have to do some type of solve some type of real world problem. Um, that's going to always be your best bet to be able to add to your resume and speak to in your experiences in your interview, because that's one of the most impressive things that hiring managers perk their ears up about is they want to know that you're a learner, they want to know that you're a professional, and they want to know that you're self-sufficient. And you showcase those things by going out, finding projects that solve real world problems and solving those problems through your projects. So that would be my advice for those. You can go on to bcloudengineerswebsite.com and take our quiz, and you can find out which is the great best path for you, and pursue that. And but yeah, that's the best advice I would give to anybody getting certifications. Go specialty versus general cloud certification.
I think for me, right now, well, just in case, guys, past couple of years, I've worked for a company by the name of Deloitte Consulting,
The
and
big four.
yeah, man, there I was a senior consultant, and I was exposed to AWS, Google Cloud, Microsoft Azure. So it's like for me, it was like, okay, I'm constantly hearing this word a lot, but what is it? So I started googling. That's the first thing I did. I Google Cloud search, and those three actually came up. The the AWS,
Hmm.
the Microsoft Azure, and the Google Cloud.
Hmm.
So what I decided to do, and I decided to get the practitioner certification because I want to get a better understanding. My background is in digital marketing and demand generation. So, but in order for me to become a better marketer, I need to understand how these solutions work. And I think by taking the practitioner certification will give me a better understanding. So when I do get a project with Microsoft or Google or AWS, I understand I can speak on these platforms. So definitely, I've been watching you, sitting back, just reading all your posts. Now I follow you on TikTok. I carefully watch those videos. I'm like, okay, it makes sense. Um,
I appreciate that, and I just do want to harp in on that about product design. In the cloud industry, there are those roles a lot with UXI design, cloud UXI designers. Yeah, having that practitioner certification is damn near enough to get into those roles, because they're less engineering heavy, and but it builds that familiarity that you all need to be able to identify the products in the cloud and how they correlate to the products the company has, and establishing the value that it is for the consumer. So yeah, definitely on the right track with that. I just wanted to note that, put that in there.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. As I said before, I've been watching you past couple of years to see how you move, and you recently had a job out in Germany where you were literally traveling all
Yeah.
across Europe, man. Can you talk about that in your travel experience? Again, you are a digital nomad, work from home, and look, I can't somewhat get jealous. You're constantly smoking a cigar. I'm like, how the hell are you smoking a cigar at 12 in the afternoon? And I'm like, like, what's going on with that, man? Like,
Man,
job,
hey,
your job that easy where you just so chilled and like you got the laptop. I see the laptop, but I see a cigar, and I'm like, damn, that's a real
oh man.
couple, man. So explain that to me, please.
First off, I love cigars, man. It's a way I get to connect with my ancestors, man, and it gives me the vibes. And it's legal across the 52 great states. But it's one of those things where it goes back to I work so hard. Like I've worked so hard, and I continue to work hard to really hone my skills. And that's one of the beautiful things about this cloud industry is that if you work yourself up enough to be able to develop solid foundational skills, it's a lot easier to get work done. And you got so much free time. I'm always reading, just you like you said, you see me posting everywhere and things. I'm always reading and reading documents and watching videos on how to do this and that and the third. So in short, I say this to say I deliver all my projects ahead of time. When you're working for a lot of tech companies, or a lot of companies in general that utilize cloud tech, you're not you're not working. The demand to work on a constant minute by minute schedule throughout the 8-hour day isn't what's required of the job. What's required of the job is to complete the project in any allotment of time, especially when you're on salary. So I'll have a cigar and work at the same time because I can get the work done, and it makes it easier for me. I just got a patio, so I'll be, instead of smoking in my garage in the truck, I'll be smoking on the patio doing the same thing. But it just a lot. It gives me, adds to my peace, it adds to my comfort, my tranquility. It's just a part of my vibe. To get in and get work done. I just get a lot of work done when I'm able to have my cigar in my hand and knock out tasks. But yeah, man. I mean, but people don't see the I'm working. Some days I'll be working maybe 1 hour, 2 hour consistently, but there was some days, man, when I was working like I'll be working anytime from 6 in the evening till 3 in the morning. Trying to get a project, meet a deadline. So it in the cloud tech industry. It's not about what you can output physically. It's about it's an intellectual approach of how can you automate tasks and get tasks done correctly in an efficient amount of time. As engineers, we are all about efficiency, not just doing work just to be doing work. So, and when you're in the industry, you pick off other engineers who have that type of mentality. So, yeah, I'm always working, man. I try not to smoke on work calls, um, but after the work call is done, I'm definitely back on my cigar. But yeah, the Germany trip was a trip, man. It was crazy because it was one of the times where I had got laid off, and that wasn't my first time dealing with layoffs. I dealt with layoffs in my early 20s, working for a project management company.
Can I say something? Oh, look, I've been in the tech industry since 2001.
Hmm.
Graduated from Florida International University back then, right after September 11th. I
Mm,
played off plenty of time. That's the thing. Being in the tech space,
yeah,
marketing, sales,
yeah,
tech, I'm accustomed to being laid off.
yeah, yeah.
These guys,
That's
it's keeping your skills fresh
yeah.
and updated to the point where
That's
every
it.
time they laid me off, sometimes I treat it as a break. All right, cool. I'm gonna take 2 months off because I got nice savings. I'm gonna chill out, and after that, I'm ready to get back in. And it's just like a part of the world.
Man, that is so much the truth, man. Layoffs is like a break. They did a research finding, and it's true because I experienced it. Most people who were salary workers, especially in tech,
Mm.
don't take time off. I hadn't taken a lick of PTO by the time I got laid off from this job. And so yeah, the layoff was like a break. And they give you, severance packages and all type of stuff. And especially if you manage your money well, you got some stacked up. So it wasn't, yeah, like you said, it's one of those things that comes and goes. It happens. It's a part of the industry. But so I got laid off, and I was looking for my next opportunity. It was crazy because I actually had AWS in sales. I was in my third round of interviewing with them, and they only do 4 rounds.
Mhm.
I was I was really close to probably 1 or 2 interviews away from landing a job offer from AWS, which would have been, great for me. And I had a few other companies. There was this one company, German company, that reached out, and they were just the most engaging for me throughout the interview process. They were very responsive, and they were just the most adamant about bringing me on. And so I was feeling that energy. I was like, man, okay, I was like, man, you know what? I can do something with this. I was like, it is not the money that I will make with the other jobs, but it was like, okay, it's still really good money. But when they talked about I'll be working in Germany and training in Germany for a few months and coming back here, blah blah, I was like, oh, I could be an international cloud engineer. Because of Brandon, baby, Brandon Bank, listen, business, baby.
You know
I
what?
talk everything. You hear me?
I actually worked out of Germany. I worked out of Munich, Germany. Uh,
Unit.
yeah, Munich.
Munich. Oh, Munich, Munich. Oh, you were closer inland of Germany
Yeah,
there.
this is back in 2008. I was working for an ad agency out there, and they flew me out to Germany. Man, I loved it. And now I do consider myself as a international.
Got to. Why not? Ain't
So hey,
nobody else claiming
once
it.
they gave me that assignment to go to Germany, hey, I'm international now. So
Hey, you hear me? International. So they flew me out, man. It was crazy because when they brought me on to do my last final interview, they said, okay, well, we're gonna fly you out to Boston to do your interview. And I was like, okay, I was like, all right, cool. And I went out to Boston, Did my final interview with them. You know, it was probably an hour and a half interviewing, and man, I kid you not, they offered me the job on the spot right then and there. I never had that happen before in the tech industry. Usually they give you a day or two or probably a week before they let you know if you got the offer. But yeah, they told me they want to hire me on the spot. We negotiated terms, blah blah blah. I was like, wow, this is crazy. So I definitely, left the office. I went, had me a cigar, got back, and then they flew me. It was only a fly in, fly out interview, and again, I never had that happen before. So I was like, I was just excited to get the opportunity to have that happen. So I flew out, flew back home the same day, and they had my booked my ticket to go to Germany for. I went to Germany. I was out there for probably I think almost a month, a
Wow.
few weeks to go to initial training. So I was like, all right, cool. Flew out to Germany. I was in Bad Säckingen. That is in South Germany. That is on the border of Switzerland.
Mm.
And interesting stories about Switzerland and Germany, man. Interesting, man.
So the question is, and I know the guys want to know, like,
Yeah.
how were the ladies looking out there?
So I'm gonna tell you, man. I'm gonna be honest. From my perspective, man, and I ain't nobody's fan. Um, I would say, man, Switzerland has some fly women. I mean, like they are just fly, and they have some fine women. I would say Switzerland has the best women in that area, because they're a lot of them from different companies. I mean, not companies, countries. You got a lot of Romanians there. You got Switzerland there. You got Germany there. You got the British there. You got the only thing I didn't see in Switzerland were Mexicans. You don't see no Mexicans no over there in Central Europe. But they were like, they were beautiful, man. They were elegant. They were like swaggy, drippy. The women is just drippy, and the German women were cool. The German women are really nice women, like women that are from Germany are really nice women. They really buy into the old system of I would say they do patriarchy, but in a healthy way,
Okay.
because the men are respected, but also the women are treated well and respected as well. Even if the women are really smart, and I met some really sharp women out there. I mean, intellectually, just wow, she's sharp. And that's the thing about Germany is they're all about the process and
Mm-hmm.
efficiency.
Extremely
Um,
process oriented. That's something
yeah,
I've heard.
very process. Oh man, to a T. They're not career entrepreneurial ambitious as we are in the States. They're not money hungry about chasing the bag, chasing the bag. They want to be really great at the process, make the process the best.
You know what? One of my one of the guys I worked with, he was German,
He
and
said Stuttgart. Ah, Stuttgart. My bad. All right, go ahead.
this gentleman, I mean, he's a German guy. He used to be on my ass
Yeah.
every time. But guess what? Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you
Amen.
so much. You made me who I am today. And I'm
Amen.
like, man, I'm so process heavy. Even like the way I
Amen.
see things, man, I'm processed to the T. And
Amen, man.
I make
I
sure nothing
agree.
falls between the cracks.
I
And that
agree.
guy, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Now, I'm just gonna say, yeah, my developer skills, like my technical developer skills, weren't strong until I went to Germany and had to tighten that up. Like I had to learn to respect developer skills. Like I had a lot of consulting skills, a lot of big picture skills. I knew how things connected and how to troubleshoot things. But yeah, no, they made me step up my development, my process game of becoming technically inclined.
Yep.
But man, yeah, man, I say the best girls were definitely in Switzerland, and just polite, man. People now they do stare at you if you're black.
Yeah.
They're gonna stare, especially old women and
Kid.
baby kids. They
Yeah.
gonna stare at you, like blatant stare. I remember watching YouTubes about the people saying that they stare and stuff. I was like, man, people don't really stare. Nah, they gonna blatantly stare at you, bro, straight face. And it's like, damn, okay. And that's the thing. They're not really when it comes to all this PC correctness
No.
and a lot of politeness and stuff that Americans feel like we have to have. None of that over there applies, man. It's that get over the mentality, but these people care about their country. I
Mhm.
didn't see a piece of trash. I didn't see one homeless person. And I was in Basel. Basel is where the original founders of Art Basel are from. Oh man, it's a beautiful, and they got old buildings. I'm talking about buildings that go back to the 13, 1200s. But they care about their people. It's a um I can't think of the term right now off the top of my head, but it's definitely one of those places where they put their citizens first, above profiting. Um, but yeah, man, it was dope, man. It was the food there. I hated. I hated the
Yeah,
food because
right.
um, th- it's just not big on a lot of different seasonings and variety. Like, but you're gonna have some of the best breads in your life. They make amazing baked goods. Um, beer's good. The steaks were good.
Yeah.
Um,
The
but
steak
yeah,
and sausages are good out there. I
they
really
do.
the steak and sausages out there. I
Yeah,
really
yeah,
enjoy.
yeah, yeah. They're good. They're good. But outside of that, man, it was trash, man, for me. And the breakfast was a big uh cultural difference for me because I'm used to steak and eggs or sausages and at least a burrito sausage or something. Man, they give you a egg. Sometimes it's not even boiled. It's a whole egg, and they got croissants and bagels, like a cold breakfast. No cereal. No, that's breakfast in them. The egg. You got some bread, might be slices of bread, some butter. They have little thin slices of cheese. They might have some cured meat, little thin slices of meat for you. That's it. That is breakfast for them, man. I was like, yo, so man. And then a lot of people don't tell you, but like a lot outside of Frankfurt, like outside of the big cities, even like Munich, outside of Munich, most of like a lot of Central Europe is rural, man. So rural that they don't take credit cards. A lot of them only take cash. That was one of the big things my boss and everybody had prepped me for what to expect when I go over there. There was a lot, probably half, if not half, more than half of the stores only took cash, man, like francs, you know, or Swiss money. It's cash only. They don't do no credit card. No, you ain't cash apping nobody. Yeah, man. It's WhatsApp is your friend over there. I would tell you that much.
One thing is for me when I was working out in Munich, whenever
Yeah.
I went out, I was amazed how many girls would offer me drinks. Like,
I
just like
understand
it's
that.
like hey, are you here by yourself? Like, yeah, I'm here for work. And it was, hey, come and join us. And I joined the party, and it just be none of women. They just ask me questions. Do you want something to drink? Sure, because they're buying me drinks. Of course, everyone's drinking beer. I'm not drinking any beer, but it's just like it was. I was amazed how friendly the
Hmm.
women were.
They are, man. Some held the door open for me. I'm
Yeah,
like, I
yeah.
was like, no, like I'm supposed to hold the door open for you. I'm the man. She's like,
They,
oh
they
no, it's just a door. I'm
they
like,
take pride. They take a lot of pride in their independence, and they
they
take
do, man. They really, really do.
that they're
But it's not like I'm trying to be better than a man independent. It's just I'm capable of doing it myself too. It's a door. It's not a big deal. Like they really work together, man. It's pretty dope. I have to say, pretty dope.
okay, okay, okay,
Yeah,
okay. So in closing, right? Because I know that you have a long night ahead of you.
it's all good. I got time for you, man. I got time.
Oh, okay, man, great, man.
Right.
What would you say for someone who has no technical experience, no that has an interest, like where to start? Like, hey, you know what? I just listened to you on this podcast. Where should I go first right now to learn what I need to do?
Don't go get your A+ certification. That's what you don't need to do. All right. Ain't nobody checking for A+. No employee, most employers aren't checking for A. Nobody paying above $14 an hour is checking for A+ certification. Don't do that. But because I see that mistake too often. What I would say is honestly, man, is take some time, Google and YouTube before you automatically reach out to somebody who's in tech for an answer because you're going to waste their time. And I say that because it's so much opportunity and so many things to do. You haven't proven to yourself that you're serious about this yet. And that person is usually getting hit up by 20 people a day. And he or she doesn't have time to always respond, and you're going to take it personal. So do the research first on your own before so that you know the quality of questions to ask, so that you can get high quality answers. Because if you go in asking a general question, you get a general answer, it's not going to serve you well. But if you go in asking a specific question, Boom, you got a specific answer. Boom, you're a lot further ahead. So start off by researching what kind of role do you want in cloud tech. You have traditional on-premise engineers, and then you have cloud engineers like me who are who work with primarily companies that have that are on the cloud platform. That means not only they're correlatively the same. It's literally just like you have your servers, you have your network, you have your LAN, your WAN, you have the virtual private network, you got the security, XYZ. You got the same thing in the cloud. It's just different different names. And the thing about cloud computing is it takes apart the computer for any organization or person, and they offer you the service individual versus on premise tech where you have to buy the whole thing, buy the whole machine. All right. In the cloud, you're just renting out these certain aspects. Just break down a computer, and you can rent literally all aspects of the computer that you only need for that time being and let it go. Versus having to buy the whole laptop and keep it, and then find out you need a better laptop. So that's one, and then two is find out what role you want. So what the Google top top cloud engineering, top top cloud tech roles for newbies, the top cloud roles for those with no tech experience, and then look into those roles because there's YouTubers around who talk about those career paths and what it's like, and find out which one you want to pursue. I will tell you this: the cloud engineering role that you start off pursuing isn't going to be the cloud engineering role you're going to always end up in. So don't get caught up in trying to make the perfect decision because your outcome is going to always change. But you have to start somewhere. You have to start doing something and get something done. After you find out what role you want, go to Indeed or go to any job board. Look up those roles on the top 10 roles, uh, companies hiring for that role. Find out what certifications they're asking for
Yeah.
and go through those certifications. Take the most common certification that they're asking for and go get that certification. And then do the same thing when it comes to projects. What are the top three objectives or top five objectives that these 10 companies are asking for? And go do a project that solves those top 10, that solves those objectives, three objectives, the most common objectives. And then boom, put your resume together. Don't do it yourself. I always say go hire a professional resume writer who specializes in helping people get into tech with their resumes. Have them do professionally do your resume, professionally do your LinkedIn. And then once you get those things done, boom, you're ready to start applying and interviewing for your first role. And keep doing it, keep applying and keep interviewing until somebody gives you an offer. Don't
Just
stop until you get an offer.
just FYI, guys, I am a professional resume writer. It's something I've done for like 25 years. I've done it for free for a lot of my close friends. But if you guys need me to take a look at it, I'm not going to write your resume. I'll provide you my feedback. But and also
Yep.
to LinkedIn as well. I'm really good with LinkedIn profiles. Again, I will give you my feedback, but I'm not going to create it for you.
Yeah.
Now, Demarcus, let's
Yep.
talk about B Cloud Engineer, your coaching and website that you offer. Let's take some time to highlight that.
Yeah. B Cloud Engineers. I started B Cloud Engineers. First off, there were no support engineer cloud engineering groups online that I could find. So I wanted to create a cloud engineering group that was a support group that could basically give advice on what cloud certifications to go after, what to expect on certifications, what to expect in interviews, give from professionals that are already in the field, kind of give you that bird's eye insider's view on the field, that trusted advice from those in the field. We review cloud tech news. Everything we talk is cloud tech jobs, etc. Just to be a support for those who are breaking into the industry for the first time with zero technical experience. That's what the group is for. And then so I created a company as a consulting piece because I was like, okay, I'm getting too many requests and my time is limited. So I need to start making this a consulting practice. And I'm not only helping beginners with first time with zero cloud experience, we're also helping companies build out their cloud infrastructure. So that's basically what the company has been about is helping those with zero tech background have a sound place to start with be cloud engineers, because on my website and everything gives you the main 12 cloud roles that Canola is highlighting, and then once you find it gives you, I mean, I did everything. It breaks down the description of those roles. It gives you the expected salary of those roles. It gives you the with zero. Again, this is all from persons with zero tech experience. You can have experience. Things are going to be a little bit higher as far as offering, but it's to help those with zero, like from the ground up. And then you can if you're ready to get started, you take the quiz, and then we go from there. You can inquire, and if you just want to skip all that and get some direct, I usually run into a lot of men who just want to directly get the answers they need. They already know where they want to go. They just need a few more bits and pieces of information to know if they're getting the right certification, or they're going to what problem they're running into, not getting past the technical round or getting past the final round, or they're not getting job or whatever. You can just easily schedule um, a one-on-one talk for that. And then the second half of the company is again helping companies build out their cloud infrastructure, because uh, most companies are finding out, about half of companies in America are finding out that they can optimize the cloud for better. And it's actually my website is actually on the cloud platform. They can optimize the cloud for better customer experience, because if you have, as you have customers that are traveling the world, especially the nomads, they want to have instant access to their data. That's whether it's their cloud data, their data storage for their pictures and the videos, or for entertainment purposes to watch movies, etc. And the cloud technology enables your customers to be able to have that experience no matter where they are in the world. But still, cloud technology is still very new and very early. So companies need help from skilled professionals that can help them with that transition. That's going to be cost optimizing and efficiency, and ensuring that they're utilizing the right cloud services. Because not all cloud services companies need to be utilizing at once. So yeah, that's practically what B Cloud Engineers is. You can be a cloud engineer, and we want to help you be cloud engineers and be the best cloud engineers out there. So that's our goal.
And one thing I noticed, just going through some of the roles here, guys, you could get within 6 months, you could make $87,000 with no tech background.
Absolutely,
Guys,
absolutely,
you don't have too many professions where, with zero background experience in tech, where you can make 87 to over six figures
absolutely,
as an
absolutely.
entry level. I don't want to say entry level, but as a starter.
Yeah,
And then, granted, guys, the more experience you have, the more money you're going to make. And also, too, guys, here's the big secret of tech companies: the more you bounce around, the more money you make.
absolutely. The
It's
more
what
you bounce around, the more money you make.
you
That's
don't
right.
stay in one company for 10, 15 years. That's
No
not
way.
you know.
Nobody in this industry is expecting anybody to stay with their company for more than 3 years. No, it's rare. It's not, because the money opportunities are too great, and people want to grow in their careers. People want more. People want to have more say so with their companies. They want to be more invested in projects. They may even want to switch roles to a different side of cloud tech. So yeah, no, people aren't staying in roles. It's too much opportunity out here.
Yeah,
It's
guys.
just asking a company to stay with one client. It's like, come on, you're not going to do that. So
I mean, again, guys, I've been in the tech space for a long time. I started back in 2001 at
mm.
Allstate, and
Woo-hoo.
yeah, Allstate in Northbrook, Illinois, and I'm from Miami, man. I never seen snow in my life until I moved to Chicago, man. And I never forget when it snowed. I was smiling, sticking my tongue out, like, "Oh wow, this is snow."
He
Not
said,
knowing
"Wow, this is
3 months
snow."
later, 3 months later, I get a minor frostbite in my hand.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I tried trying to be cute during the wintertime. I didn't have any gloves, and I caught a flat tire. And you know what? I was just like you, man. My tire had a little, was threading a little bit. I ain't want to,
Yeah.
so I was constantly buying used tires. I was doing the same thing you were doing. And this, I was a broke college kid, my first job out of college, man.
You got to make it happen.
Yeah, man.
You make
So
a way,
every three
baby.
months, I was changing my tires, buying used tires, and it finally caught me on the expressway. Guys, this is the day it was like negative 10 degrees outside. I didn't
Dang,
have my gloves with me, so I had to change, and I was by myself. So I had to change my tire. And I'm
mm,
changing my tire. It's cold. It's negative 10 outside Chicago. You got that wind factor too. God, I'm feeling my hand is burning. Like my hand is constantly burning. I'm like, damn, what the hell's going on? I go home. I'm from Miami. I'm from Dade County, man. I ain't never seen snow in my life, man. Yo, before I moved to Chicago, cold to us is like 60, like 6 degrees. We're wearing jackets. So, so I wake up the next day. This hand right here, you can't see it now, but you can see the little mark right here. That's what's left. But the next day, I woke up. All this right here was
Yeah.
black.
Wow.
Yeah, I went to the hospital and said, "What is this?" They say, "You got a frostbite."
Oh, Goofy. They probably called you a Goofy.
Yeah, they look at me like, "Hey, like you don't even know what the hell you got in your hand." Like, nah, it hurts.
He
So
said it hurts.
literally, for 3 years, I had a problem with this hand. Like, I had a constant.
Wow.
And but yeah, guys, this is one of the few professions in IT where you can have zero experience and make close to six figures just starting out. And of course, eventually you're going to make six figures.
Oh,
and
yeah.
guys, all it just takes is you find the right person to teach you how
Yep.
to do it and the time to actually do it.
Yep. You got to do it. I mean, I have some students I'm working with now. One, I'm taking him from, and I'm excited to post about his story soon. But guy with zero tech experience, used to be a car salesman all the way up until the end of last year. He literally just got his practitioner certification, so now we're working on getting him a cloud sales engineering role. But that's going to be big. And I have another that I'm working with on the security side. It's just, man, it's so much upside in this thing, man. It literally just takes if you're not going to procrastinate, it's going to take you anywhere between from zero, starting at zero, it'll take you anywhere up until 6 months. Might take you less, depends on how ambitious you are. But yeah, 6 months, if you do a little bit of procrastination, you can be able to get it done and get in the industry. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, guys, I've accepted the challenge. I'm actually looking into the AWS practitioner uh, certification.
Good for you, man.
I started reading the books and whatever. I'm giving myself 2 months.
Good for you, man.
My background is project management, so I assume that it's going to come easy to me. But
Mhm.
still, the hardest part, again, I'm approaching 45. You got to get yourself in the mind to study. You got to put yourself mentally in a place where, you know what, I'm not going to go out to the clubs. I'm not
Mhm.
going to travel. Like these next 6 months, I'm not traveling at all.
Oh, okay. That's big from you, man.
Yeah, man. I decided to.
You sure you're okay?
Yeah. I'm trying to get paid, man.
Ooh, that's big from you.
I want to have multiple skill sets.
I got you.
Where, hey, I can be pulled left, I can pull right. I'm always have six figures. And also, too, as a contractor, I want to have multiple contracts.
Hey, listen.
Hey, you know what? Traveling could wait. So for the next
another call.
I mean, granted, I fly down to Miami a lot, but besides international travel, I'm not traveling until June. So I'm buckling down. I'm gonna put my head into the books, study, and if I have to reach out to certain people, pay for certain coaching consultation. Now, guys, the only time I pay for consultation where I know it's gonna make me money.
Yeah,
I will pay for consultation. I will not pay consultation for a trip. I'm sorry, I'm not. But I'm gonna pay consultation that's gonna make me more money.
You ain't gonna pay for that consultation with that travel agent, man. Come on,
man, please, man. I'm better than a travel agent. So, but
best places in DR.
Hey, man, I know DR like the back of my hand, man. You guys want to know where to go? Hit me up, man.
Right.
But I mean, honestly, guys, you need to invest in yourself. We watched this gentleman grow from nothing to somebody amazing. Yeah. Now he's working in Germany and traveling the world as a digital nomad. And he's working from home because he's posting his cigars and his computer every day. Get tired of looking at that. But you know
what? I got Mark into the tech industry.
Yeah. You know what? I spoke to Mark in Thailand. We hung out in Phuket.
Oh man,
we hung out in Phuket and Bangkok, and he was telling me like, "Yo, he told me that you put on game. You put him on game to actually do the certification. He's doing it too." So our boy Mark is currently in Africa, somewhere in Ghana, doing some type of foolishness.
Definitely heavy on the foolishness.
So I mean, guys, this is your chance now, as a black man. Don't say that you're not put on game. We're giving you guys information that, trust me, the Indians and the Asians, they're giving they keep amongst themselves. And you're in IT. We're not there.
Listen,
Guys,
I work where
yeah,
black people are only 3% of the technology industry as employees. 3%, 3.7. And yeah, these when I tell you these Indians, they and you learn to befriend a lot of them because a lot of them are cool as hell. They give you a lot of great advice. Y'all find a lot that y'all have a lot in common. But they put each other on, man. They'll have a whole household in technology, and they'll have the husband he do tech, and then the wife she's you'll find out that she's a developer or a DevOps engineer. So they are definitely putting like it's like damn near mandatory in some of these Indian families. Absolutely, yeah.
yeah, guys. Not too often you have other black men in technology that come together and share their best practice. And again, guys, the Indians, the Asians, and trust me, our fellow Caucasians are doing the same thing.
Yeah,
They put
well,
on their friends, and we're not doing that. So I created this spotlight because I wanted to bring him on board so he could teach you guys how to get into the cloud space, how to make six figures, and as well as travel the world while making six figures. There's
yeah,
no need for you to settle for a service job where you can strictly commit yourself 6 months. 6 months will change your life.
that is literally the slogan. 6 months, dedicate yourself to 6 months to change the rest of your life. I'm gonna leave you with this tidbit, but and say goodbye. But my mentor, I remember my mentor, Stefan Labourse, probably in 2013. He told me he gave me the most pivotal game when I was down, like knuckles on the ground, out. Like, I ain't had nothing or nothing. He said, man, you need to dedicate yourself to something for 2 years, man. And I promise you, I think you'll change the rest of your life. We were sitting in his BMW while he was in his condo, his high end condo in Buckhead. And he told me that, man. I took that with me, and he did not lie. I thank him and give him praise every year for that. That shifted my mentality to things. But yeah, if you can focus for 6 months, we talking about changing the rest of your life. How much? How is it worth really losing out on that 6 months and making the rest of your life your way? Like, is it worth the sacrifice? Why is it not worth the sacrifice? Is really the question you should ask yourself. So it's like, and man, life is uh,
Hey guys, look. I watch him. I follow him all over social media.
different, baby.
He's eating at some of the best fancy restaurants that I can't afford. He's out in Mexico, in Tulum, and
Man, it's
places.
different.
I'm like, man, it's like, you know what?
It's different.
I'm not gonna say, look, I'm jealous, but also I'm proud of you, brother, man. I see it.
Appreciate that, brother.
Yeah, I've been watching you in the background, just like, okay, okay.
We working, baby. We
And
working out here to write our own narrative, man. That's it.
and guys, you can have the same experience if you commit 6 months to learn a new skill set. If you're gonna pay for any consultation, pay for this one.
Yeah,
Pay
absolutely.
for something that's gonna make you money. And guys, again, I'm not bringing anyone that does not have any receipts. I've seen his receipts.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
follow them damn receipts too.
yeah.
So it's just like,
We changing lives, man. That's all. That's all we're here to do, man.
with that being said, man, I want to have you close it out, man. So what you want to say as your closing?
Yeah, man. I appreciate it. I love seeing your platform grow at the same time. Going from 0 followers to you like, oh my 1,000 subscribers.
Hey, I was happy, man.
Hey, I'm happy for you. I know how hard it is to create content, especially your quality level content. Yeah, I already know the work. So I'm proud of you, man. Continue proud of your success. I'm glad to be a part of your journey, man. And to all those out there that are aspiring, that are building, keep doing it. Just because you don't get the glory and nobody's not shouting you out doesn't mean we don't see you. Those of us who are out here grinding and hustling, we easily acknowledge other hustlers who are out here grinding and hustlers. A lot of the time we don't say nothing because we know that can ruin the process. We know you got to develop that knack to get it for yourself so you can have that proof of concept for yourself. So keep doing the work, man. And yeah, if you ever need any help or advice when it comes to cloud engineering tips, reach out to me. Our website is bcloudengineers.com. Everything is there. Our TikTok is bcloudengineers, and we're here to serve. So
All right. Hey, thank you, man. You have a great night, man. And go ahead that cigar.
we'll do, man. All right, be great, brother.
All right, later, man.
All right.
All right, guys. As I said before, man, if you're gonna pay for any type of consultation, pay for consultation that's gonna make you money. It is what it is, man. I personally will be reaching out to him if it means I got to pay for it. So be it, because I am planning to get my certification in AWS. So, and for the next 6 months, man, I'm shutting it down. I put the passport away, no traveling until I get the certification. And I want you guys to do the same thing because, again, guys, 6 months could change your entire life. If you never made six figures before, this is your chance now by just strictly focusing on the new skill set and applying it. Guys, make sure you check out his website. It's www.bcloudengineers.com. He does have a Facebook group. Same thing, just B Cloud Engineers Facebook group. And also, don't forget his YouTube channel. He does has a YouTube channel, guys. Go to his channel, subscribe, like his video, and learn. Guys, there's a community of Black Clouds engineers out there that you want to get into know where we could all make this money. Again, guys, the Indians are doing it, the Asians are doing it, all the races of people are doing it except for us. We're always last to know. And we need to change that. And as black men, we need to change our narrative as digital nomads. Again, guys, the guys that I know who are digital nomads, they're making six figures. They're doing very well for themselves, and they are traveling the world, and they're giving a good rep in how we conduct ourselves. So, guys, look into the cloud space engineer as Demarcus mentioned. There's a variety of different skill sets and roles you could apply for. But first thing first, get those certifications, man. If you need help, please reach out to Demarcus. If you need to pay for consultation, again, guys, only pay for consultation that's gonna make you money. That's all I gotta say. And thanks, man. You guys were extremely engaged on this live. I really enjoyed it, man. And this is great information, man. It's really great information. More information I want to share with you guys. I do have another digital nomad, Tobias the Traveler at 10 o'clock, guys. So I'm gonna go ahead and have dinner and get ready for the next live podcast with Tobias the Traveler. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. And see you guys in an hour. You guys take care, man. Peace.